On November 6, 2012, over 120 million American voters went to the polls to vote for a president, federal, state, and local officials, propositions, and referenda. These voters used thousands of voting places staffed by more than 2 million poll workers. Over 95% of those poll workers were volunteers who put in more than 15-hour days at little or no pay. Some citizen poll workers help protect the integrity of the election process. They frequently live in the same neighborhoods they serve in and provide friendly assistance to the voters. California Secretary of State Todd Rokita called poll workers the street-level lawyers because they ultimately determine how well an election is run, and they have the power of its implementation. But it is how they are viewed by the voters that is important. Many voters view them not as volunteers, but as an extension of their local government, considering them to be election officials. This video is a tribute to millions of volunteers who make our elections some of the fairest and most honest in the world. In the County of Ventura, California, where this project was conducted, the Ventura County Elections Division manages the electoral process. Of the 450,000 registered voters, many preferred to physically vote at a polling place. More than 300 polling locations throughout 10 cities and the unincorporated county had to be staffed by paid volunteers, the poll worker. The division had the daunting task of expanding from 14 full-time paid employees to finding, training, and managing over 1,500 volunteers in the days leading up to the election. Let's follow the two-day activities of Inspector Martha, assigned to the Juana Maria precinct in the city of Ventura. Martha attended her inspector training 1 week prior to the day of the elections. After voting by absentee ballot, Martha's first task was to pick up voting materials from the elections office. After the inspector picked up the materials, she reviewed the materials to confirm that they are correct and complete, and she updated the main roster. At Juana Maria Elementary School in Ventura, there were actually 2 precincts, with 2 inspectors and a total of 7 clerks. Inside the classroom, county employees had already set up much of the voting equipment and the polling booths. But it was Martha's job to rearrange the equipment and booths for easy access by voters and confirm that the materials were delivered. Since California starts voting at 7 a.m., all the poll workers arrive at the polling place at approximately 6 in the morning or earlier to start setting up. These workers typically meet each other for the first time. They perform final setup of the room, agree on assignments for specific jobs, post signs both in and out of the polling place, and set out the American flag. In all, quite a busy hour before dawn. At 7 a.m., the polls were declared open and voting began. Starting with the long line and continuing throughout the day, poll workers helped voters at Juana Maria precinct to cast their ballots. As the day progressed, these are some of the thoughts Inspector Martha had about how the day was going.
It was kind of rough. The morning had just a lot of people trying to vote, so we're loving it. Our team is all enthusiastic about it, and we're just going to wait for more voters to show up. But we did it.
I believe we are very fortunate to have 2 of my team members come back. We had worked this precinct before, and for me it's just amazing that after the last election they were willing to come back. What they're helping me is to train the new poll workers I am so blessed on having them around and help me out, because if not, I would have just have a team of new poll workers that I will have to train while they do the job.
In addition to voters, the polling place also played host to other interested parties, including poll watchers doing an independent review of the election process, the local parent-teachers group selling baked goods as a fundraiser, a class from the elementary school which was interested in learning more about the voting process, and also family members of the clerks checking up on how their parents were doing. Finally, after a 13-hour day, the polls were closed at 8 p.m.
So the polls are closed. La estación de votaciones está cerrada. Gracias.
Poll workers gathered all materials, and the inspector and clerk returned the ballots and other documents back to the government center. In summary, the poll workers put in an exhausting day with little or no pay. So what motivates the poll workers to undertake such a task?
Well, it's my first time here.
Oh, it is?
I am a first-time voter as well in the United States. I have triple citizenship.
Do some help. My son's school gets credit for if I volunteer in a poll, and so I decided to do that. But just wanting to help out. And
people that come in to vote, but also the people that you work with at the polls. It's fun.
What time did your day start today?
Oh, I got up at 4:30, but you have to be here at 6.
So it's a long day
It is a
today
long
then.
day.
Right, right.
But actually, it goes quickly. It's surprising.
I enjoy doing it. I enjoy setting everything up so everything is comfortable and ready for the voter and everything is right. I like being the person here, making sure that everything is right and organized. So it's easily accessible for them to get their vote in, to make sure at the end every single one counts, whoever you're voting for.
Is there any message you would like to give to the voters?
Vote. Vote. My message, I guess, is pretty powerful. People gave their lives so we could have this. So we can have this right, this opportunity. And I think it's vitally important that we do it. You know, we see other countries that would die for this. And, you know, and we can freely walk in to do it in comfort. So I would say vote, 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 vote.
In turn, this sense of community service is appreciated by the voters.
Are from all different races, all different ages. They really represent what's great about this country. They were cheerful, they were very accommodating, and I'd like to also say that what they're doing is they're allowing us to enact our fundamental right to be able to vote in a peaceful way, in a fair way, and we couldn't ask for anything more. It's what makes our country great.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
After such a long day, Inspector Martha reflected by saying,
I think the winners of today is really democracy, because people turn out to vote. And we, the poll workers, are just happy that we can assist those that are still wanting to cast their vote the old way, the traditional way. The poll worker is there to help them, and it's the last space they see before they cast their vote.
thanks to the tireless efforts of over 2 million street-level lawyers across the nation, on November 6th, America continued our tradition of free and open elections, supervised by our friends and neighbors, the volunteer poll workers.